Let's talk a little bit about low point. Now, low point is probably a term that you've not heard before, and it's actually really simple and super important. Low point just refers to the lowest point this club is traveling in the downswing. Why it's so important is amateurs have a real poor conception of where that lowest point in their golf swing should be. So let me just explain it a little bit in more detail. So for a lot of amateurs, they think the lowest part of the golf swing should be probably behind the ball when they try and scooping it up in the air, or even at the ball with the idea we take a divot as we hit the golf ball. Well, that's actually an incorrect concept. The lowest part of the golf swing for elite ball strikers is usually around 4 inches ahead of the golf ball. So what we mean by that is elite ball strikers come in, they hit the golf ball, they're then going to take a divot around 2 inches after the golf ball, but then that club head is still traveling down for another 2 inches. So for elite ball strikers with an iron, the lowest part of their golf swing is usually around that 4-inch mark ahead of the golf ball. That's why we see that divot starting a couple of inches ahead of the golf ball, that lowest point of the club here, and then the club starts to come out of the turf and we get that nice divot. So if we start to understand, one, what low point is, and then two, where it should be, we should hopefully see a lot better strikes with irons. Now, we've talked about irons there, where the low point needs to be 4 inches ahead of the golf ball. Let's talk a little bit about driver now. So low point in driver, it's slightly different with the driver. With the iron, we take a divot, so that low point needs to be ahead of the golf ball. However, with the driver, that golf ball is sat on a tee. So we actually, with a driver, want to hit up on the golf ball to be the most efficient. So the low point with driver is actually going to be just before the ball, so we can promote an upward angle of attack. If you're not sure what angle of attack is, check out our angle of attack concept videos. But we want with driver that low point to be just before the ball, so we can have a nice upward angle of attack and be the most efficient and hit absolute bombs. In summary, remember that low point is the lowest part the club head travels in the downswing. So with an iron, we want that low point after the golf ball. That's why we see a divot after the ball, usually starting a couple of inches after, with that lowest part of the club traveling around 4 inches after the ball if you really want to be a great ball striker. Now with driver, because it's sat on a tee, we're going to see that low point a little bit before the ball to promote an upward angle of attack, so you can be the most efficient and hit some bombs with this driver. So low point's a really key concept that a lot of golfers don't understand, but if you understand the concept of it and then can implement it in the golf swing, you're going to hit a lot better golf shots.